All right, my angels. So, as promised, today I'm going to give you 7 shadow work exercises, self exercises that you can do at home, questions to contemplate on, journal on, for the closure of the 9-year cycle that we're closing now. I'm not going to be going into the topic because I ramble about this all the time. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can check the previous videos on my channel. We're currently closing a 9-year cycle, and we're in the middle of that sort of I call it a waiting room period, when we're being tested, when we're being invited to sit in contemplation, to learn certain lessons still, to acknowledge certain things, to be able to actually start a new expanded cycle for the next 9 years instead of repeating the same ones. So, as promised, I'm going to give you those exercises today. And I'm going to make a part 2 of this video in a couple of days, where I may film it now and post it in a couple of days to give you time to go through these exercises. So make sure you do them before you watch part 2. And you already have your notes and your thoughts about those exercises and those questions, to help you realize and acknowledge certain things, right? To help you summarize. This is basically shadow work. This is how we do it. So in this part, I'll give you the questions, and in the next part, I'll sort of break down the meaning behind where you went towards answering those questions, to help you understand. And I always say that, shadow work is just bringing certain things from the shadow into awareness, into the light. It's about sitting with ourselves, witnessing ourselves, our emotions. It's about contemplation. It's something that you can do when you are in a bus or on a train, or when you are in your bed before you go to sleep. When you're in a tub, sometimes it's good to do it in a more conscious way, just to sit down in a comfortable space of your home. Because this 9-year cycle is a big one, and we are also moving from a year of snake to the year of fire horse. I do encourage you to create that space for yourself. So whether that's a relaxing bath, salt bath that you're gonna get yourself into, and then you can play this, you can save this video and play it, just listen to my voice, and then pause it after every question and try to answer that question as it's relevant to you. Or you can just sit, on a floor, on a couch, light up a candle and incense, create that space for yourself. And I invite you to do this as an opening for that shadow work, and then allow those questions to sort of ring in your head for the next couple of days, right? Sleep on it, go back to it next day. I do encourage you to journal the responses. If you are in that tub, or if you are someplace where you cannot journal, I always recommend recording yourself, so you can either record an audio. Many people don't feel comfortable listening to themselves as they replay it, which is a sign of a shadow as well. I'm not going to go into it. It's a whole different topic. If you want to know about it, let me know. But if you're not comfortable, you can just, in your notes, voice to words, right? Or however you call it, you know what I mean. Anywho, let's jump right in and let's start. I have 7 questions that I want you to answer in your mind, about the past 9 years. So go back, I believe that's 2016. To me, it's difficult to use the years as as I live in a different time and space. I never know. But I, for example, think how old was I and where I was, and then we go back. So deduct 9 years from your age and remind yourself where you were, and from that moment up to now, looking at that period, try to answer those questions. So the first question is, we need to understand who you were 9 years ago, when you look at yourself from 9 years ago, you go back, whether that's a specific memory or a specific year, where you were, who you are as a person and as an essence, do you feel like comparing to who you are now, this is a complete stranger? Or is someone that is different but relatively same? There's a spectrum of change that we're going to be talking about. So how do you feel about this person, about you from 9 years ago? A complete stranger, or a younger brother, a younger sister, right? How do you feel as well? I want you to consider and journal emotions. Do you feel, oh my God, I'm so ashamed? What was I thinking? Or you do look at that person more of a younger brother, younger sister, they did their best, right? So think about the difference of those two people as if they were separate personas. They are separate personas. And how do you feel about them? What emotions? Is it shame? Is it petty? Is it sadness? Is it nostalgia? Is it pride? Is it happiness? Write these emotions down as well. Feel these emotions. Next question is, if you were forced to go back to that moment, so where you were in life, right? 9 years ago, 8 years ago, if you were forced to go back and to wake up tomorrow in that moment of time, would you be happy and thrilled, or would it feel like punishment to have to be there and have to live again for those experiences? Again, this is a sort of a black and white spectrum. It is a spectrum. There's many emotions in between. So maybe you wouldn't necessarily feel like it's punishment, or you wouldn't be happy, but maybe it's neutral. So find yourself on that spectrum. Is it more that you would be happy to revisit, or you would gladly go back and stay there, or you feel like, oh my God, I don't even want to live that life for a split second? Next question is to think about, in this period of time of 9 years, I want you to think about and write down and journal about things that started and ended. So think about jobs, think about projects, think about friendships, think about relationships. In those 9 years, what started and what ended for you? And then the next 3 questions will be about listing and thinking and bringing your memory back to three things, right? So first, I want you to think about two free key pains, traumas, disappointment. In those 9 years, what were the, again, 2 free moments, events that caused you the biggest sadness, the biggest pain, the biggest disappointment, the biggest that broke you, that you feel like they broke you, right? That you definitely, when you go back, what you feel as that person is sadness, is tears, is despair. And then I want you to think on the other side of the spectrum, 2 or 3 things that were the biggest excitements, the biggest happiness, what brought you joy, what brought you bliss, happiness, right? And those moments. And the final one is 3 things that caused the biggest fear within you, the biggest insecurity within you, the biggest nervousness. Is that moment like literally standing on the edge of a cliff and you don't want to do it, you're afraid, you don't know what's there, and you're literally being pushed into something that awakens this deep fear within you. And your final question is, if you were to go back again to this person from 9 years ago, 7, 8, 9 years ago, the beginning of this cycle, what is it, the advice that you would give to yourself? What would you say to him, to her? Um, look at the type of the advice, and what the advice actually is. So would that advice would be advice of comfort? Would it be advice of warning? Would it be advice of do this, don't do that? And if it is, what would you say? Right? What would you want to maybe avoid? What would you want to do better? So really be really be thorough. I'm looking for the right word. um, just give that advice. How do you feel that if you knew that, if you got that advice, you would maybe be in a different place, or you would maybe go through this cycle differently, in a better way, in an easier way? Whatever comes to your mind, what is that advice? We're going to analyze that advice later, but what is it, that advice that you would give to that past self? So when you're done analyzing these, and like I said, I invite you to sort of an open space for yourself to really sit on these and contemplate on these, and then sit on them, continue to sit on them for the next couple of days. Come back if you feel guided to for part 2 of this video, and I will sort of break down what does it really mean, what is the meaning behind a specific answers that you've given, and hopefully that will help you to understand yourself today better, and your shadows still today, and yourself from 9 years back. So I hope this is helpful, and I will see you in part 2.